Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today I want to show you how to grow 3 perennial vegetables. They're really easy to seed start indoors. You're going to save a lot of money. Now, in the beginning of January I did a video on starting 12 perennial plants indoors. I will link that into the video description and you'll see how I planted some of these, but I'm going to go over it again. I'm going to talk more in depth about what these plants need, when you can get a harvest from them, and then how to pot them up also. So we're going to talk about artichokes. We're going to plant those, rhubarb, and asparagus. All really easy to start indoors. Now this is my rhubarb. I'm in Maryland Zone 7. Today is January 25th. This is rhubarb that was started on December 20th. It looks beautiful. It's a good size, really easy to grow. Looks like we get about 75% germination rate. This was also started on 12/20. Rhubarb, very easy to start indoors. Here's some rhubarb I started on January 3rd. So this is about 20 days, 21 days worth of growth. Germinates about 75%. Now I sell seeds in my seed and garden shop. Tomatoes and peppers are $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are $1.50 a pack. I only sell asparagus with respect to these 3. I don't have any rhubarb or artichoke seeds, but I do sell asparagus there. Why do you want to start seeds indoors? It's going to save you a lot of money. Buying full-size rhubarb plants can cost you $8 to $12 or more a plant. Buying asparagus crowns, this is the asparagus, started from seed about 3 weeks ago. That's going to be expensive. You're buying 2- and 3-year-old crowns. And same thing with globe artichokes. They're hard to find anyway in larger plants, so you really do want to start them first. Now, I haven't started any artichokes yet, but they're going to look very similar to the growth rate of the rhubarb. So we'll use that for an example. Artichokes, this is your basic globe artichoke. It will bloom this year if you do a trick. And the trick is to grow them inside about 8 weeks and then get them outside when the temperatures are still about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I will throw the Celsius up on the screen in a second. 40 degrees Fahrenheit for about 4 weeks. Why do you want that 40-degree period? They need a cold period for about 4 weeks, and it tells the globe artichoke that it's gone through its winter, and then it's going to be ready as soon as that warm spring rolls in to grow really fast, produce flowers, produce the globe artichokes. Well, it'll produce the artichokes, and we eat them before they flower. They have beautiful flowers, by the way. If you don't eat them, just grow them for the flowers. They're beautiful. They look like purple sea anemones. So with that 40 days, or I'm sorry, with that 4-week period of 40-degree temperatures, around there, you're going to be able to get artichokes the first year. They are perennial in a lot of areas. I'm in Maryland Zone 7. Mine come back every year. So for planting, now artichokes are a taproot, but I have done videos on this last year where I start them in these small seed cells. So I sell all these supplies at my seed shop, and they do fine in something like this. You might think you want a bigger container because they're a taproot. They do fine. You can grow them in something small like this. I prefer now to start them in something larger because I'm only going to grow 3 or 4 plants. That's all I want to add to my garden this year. So there's no need to grow them like this and then go and pot them up. So I'm going to start in a larger container. This is like 2.5 inches wide, 3 inches deep. You can use a yogurt container, any kind of container, just poke holes in it. If you want to buy these, I sell them at my shop. So the globe artichokes, just press the soil down. You want it to be a firm base. Let me make sure this is staying in screen. And the seeds are pretty big. You know, they look something like this. They're, well, not something like this. They look exactly like this. And they are large. I'm going to put in 2. If 2 plants come up, I will divide right down the middle and I'll have some extra plants. The artichokes seem to germinate pretty well, but I don't like putting 1 seed into anything unless they're really expensive, and then wait around for a seed not to germinate. So I like to put in an extra seed. You're going to press this down 1/4 inch, a little deeper. That's 0.6 centimeters, 1.25 centimeters. And that's all you do for the globe artichokes. And then I'd like to use painter's tape and just put in art. I think today was the 24th-ish. And just put the date on there. And painter's tape is the easiest way to label your plants. And then they goes right on there. And my artichoke is planted. Gonna let that grow. you know, at least you want 6-8 weeks indoors. It's going to germinate quickly at 65 degrees Fahrenheit indoors. I know that's 18.2 degrees Celsius. So they're going to take off. Don't forget, 6 or 8 weeks indoors, about 4 weeks of going outside during the day when the temperatures are cold, around that 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Bring them in at night if the frost or freeze is coming. And they're going to believe that they've overwintered and they're going to produce for you. Now, rhubarb. Rhubarb here, again, is about, I don't know, 5 weeks old. It's beautiful. You know, it's hard to find plants that aren't expensive. So if you're going to go buy a rhubarb plant, you're going to be paying, again, I don't know, probably at least 8 to 12 bucks for a rhubarb plant. So go ahead and start the seeds. These were started in the smaller cells on December 20th. These were started in the larger cells on 12/20. They look about the same. This one looks even a little bit bigger right here. Just has a bigger leaf. But the plants look pretty much the same. So any starter medium is going to work. I'm going to have to plant these up. That's what I'm going to do today. So to plant these, I'm going to show you real quick how I plant them. I'm going to use the small cell. Let me get the rhubarb seeds out. They're bigger seeds too. And I'm just going to, you know, always firm the base down. And then 1, 2 drop there. So 1 seed, 1/4 inch, 0.6 centimeters, a little more. 2 seeds, 3 seeds, rhubarb is planted. Buying seeds cost you pennies a plant. And they grow extremely well. So the plants in the larger containers, I'm going to leave. They've got more space, the roots can grow. Let me move that over here. Just want to show you how I pot up this guy. Let me put these seeds away. All right. Now your rhubarb is going to germinate pretty quickly. This was put in on January 3rd. So 20 days later, it looks something like this. And then it really takes off after that. And it looks like they all didn't germinate either. I put in enough. The rhubarb here, much smaller, this plant, compared to the other ones. Some plants might take longer, so don't give up. But after about 3 weeks, if you don't see any movement, you know something's not right. Maybe you want to start a next wave. So I'm going to pop these up into these larger 3.5 inch containers. I'm going to put on here the painter's tape, and I'd like to put down that these were started on, what did I say? They were started on 12/20, but I transplanted them on 1/24, and that's rhubarb. Let me move this around a second. So all the starting mix and potting mix here I make. I will link that video in the video description too. It goes over 4 recipes of how you make starting mix. And you don't need a potting mix to pot up. You could use your starting mix too. It's all basically the same. This looks really professional just because I had some extra perlite laying around and I threw it into the container. When you add in the perlite, you know, it makes it to our eye look like it's amazing stuff. But add in perlite to your starting mix and you have a great potting up mix. So I'm going to loosely fill it, make a little space, and we're going to pop out. Let me stand up, make sure everything's in camera. The smaller one, it's in a smaller cell. I would imagine the roots are pretty root bound. They are. And what will happen is you'll think, oh, you got, you know, another 3 weeks you want this to grow. If you leave it in this container, it's not going to really get much bigger because the roots are constrained. So I'm going to gently scratch the roots, break some of them up like that. Just make a little hole in there, drop this in. They're actually pretty fragile leaves. So if some break, it's okay, they'll send out more, but be careful with them. And then I'm going to press in from the corners. And I'm just going to leave it something like that. You know, these will get watered in from the bottom. I have plenty of videos on that. In the video description, I'll put other videos about seed starting in there. And this is potted up. It can stay in here for the rest of the period, or rest of the time indoors. go outside, get used to the elements, and then it's going to go into a couple spaces out in my garden. But this would be easily an $8 to $12 plant, you know, 4 or 5 weeks down the line when it's big, the container size. They're hard to find in something like this, so you're always going to be buying them probably in a half-gallon or a gallon container, and that's why they're expensive. So rhubarb is really easy to start. Again, these were started on on December 20th. These were started on January 3rd. They're growing nicely. And rhubarb, I mean, it's going to establish this year, and you can eat, you know, 1 or 2 of the stalks. You know, commercial gardeners like them to grow a good 2 years, 3 years before harvesting, but this is a home garden. So don't over harvest the leaves this year. You know, take a couple of them, sample them, enjoy them. But next year, you'll be able to take as much rhubarb as you want. These plants really establish nicely. What I did find, one quick tip, is I was trying to grow these for 3 years before I found the right spot. They like the warmth of summer. They don't like being in a place that bakes in the heat. So try to put them in an area that gets maybe some afternoon shade. So where I have these, they have morning shade, then they get a lot of afternoon southern sun, and then they get some of the setting sun towards the end of the day. They have shade periods. In my case, I have more morning shade, but perfect placement would be morning sun, afternoon sun, late afternoon shade, and they'll do really well. They just don't want to be in a place where they have sun all the time. They just didn't do well for me that way. And there's a lot of ways to grow them. Less morning sun, less afternoon sun. The idea is that you're shrinking the amount of time where the sun is beating down on them. Asparagus. Now, asparagus can be expensive to buy. You buy 2 or 3 year roots. You have to buy a bunch of them, and it costs you some money. Sometimes they all don't do well. When you put in asparagus, you're going to wait a full 2 years or 3 years before you really get a nice harvest. So you might as well start them as seed. And you can see right in here, there's 2 plants coming up, one. Maybe these will germinate. These are put into the ground on, that says February 3rd, but it was actually on January 3rd. And they've sprouted already. The root systems of asparagus are incredible. They're going to fill this whole space up, and they're going to look overgrown. You can leave them in here for the whole period, and when they're ready to go outside, just break them up, get them into the ground. You're going to let these sit all year long and really sit next year. So even if you disturb the roots, getting them into the ground, they're going to be fine. Penny's a plant to grow them this way. The roots are just amazing. They're just, you know, they fill this up. They're almost indestructible. So you can grow them in something like this. If you want to, you know, be a little more respectful of the roots, grow them into larger containers like this. But I've grown asparagus like this for years, and they just do really well in these small containers. So you have the basic 6-cell. You want to go ahead, you know, pack in the soil, nice solid base. We're going to do asparagus on this side. You know, press it in. If it's too loose, you don't want your seed to kind of work its way to the bottom. I do have asparagus seeds at my seed shop, and again, my seed shop seeds are only $1.75 for tomatoes or peppers. And I'm going to put 2 seeds in here. They're going to be hard to see. I don't like waiting around for a seed to germinate if it doesn't. If both seeds come up, I just plant them together. You could try and divide them if you want, but they're going out to a place where, you know, the asparagus is going to be a good 10, 15, 20 years. Asparagus, once you plant it, it's going to last at least 15 years. It's going to come back year after year after year. So in my seed shop, I have tomatoes and pepper plants for $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are $1.50 a pack. So I'm just pressing in the asparagus seeds, again, about 1/4 inch, a little bit more, 0.6 centimeters. And that's it. That's all you do for the asparagus. In about 2 weeks, actually, your asparagus is going to pop up. It really takes off and starts growing fast. Wanted to cut in real quick and talk quickly about prepping these seed cells, watering and fertilizing. I'm going to plant some more artichokes in here too, just to show you how quick and easy it is. Going into the 6-pack, once you put in a starting mix, you want to make sure you press it in. You want a nice firm starting base. Put some more in, smooth it over, and that's perfect for any seeds you want to start. The artichokes, again, they're large seeds. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just that quick. Let me put these back. 1/4 inch, 0.6 centimeters, a little deeper. I now have 6 artichoke plants. Pennies a plant, you know, with the seed cells, the flats, you know, what, $6, $8, something like that, including buying the seeds. If I were going to buy individual plants, I'm going to be paying probably like $30 or more for them, if you can even find the artichoke plants. Everything goes into a flat. This is how I water. Bottom watering, you know, this would be filled up with different size containers and stuff like that. You know, the plants are down here. Let me move them into view. You get the idea, the larger ones. And what I do is I just fill this container up about 1/4 of a way. This is all, the seed starting mix is all nice and dark. When that gets to a light brown, fill the tray about 1/4 of the way, let the water absorb from the bottom. They're good to go till the next watering. For feeding, when your plants get to this size, any plant really, about 10, 14 days after germination, they're going to need a light feeding. I recommend using a water-soluble fertilizer. I'm affiliated with AgroThrive. That's an organic water-soluble. You can find them in the video description. You don't want the leaves to get smashed. Just, you know, follow the instructions on AgroThrive. It's a nice low NP and K, perfect for indoor seed starting. If you're using the chemical types or you're using fertilizers where the NP and K are pretty high, you want to reduce the amount you put into your mix of water, your gallon of water, so that the NP and K ratio is well below a 5.55 NP and K. You don't want to overfeed your plants. You're better off just underfeeding them. They look a little bit yellow. You add more fertilizer. You can't really remove over fertilizing, but you can always add more fertilizer. So after they're, you know, been growing 10, 14 days after germination, I'll give them a light feeding. Instead of the watering, I do a watering with the fertilizer in it, with the water soluble in it, feed the plants, and then when plants are about this size, they're getting fed at least once a week with that low amount of NP and K, not water soluble, and the plants do really well. Probably want this indoors before it goes outside, a good 8 weeks. It can stay a little bit longer. The whole idea is these plants can take the frost and the freeze, but you want them to go into the soil when frost, the chance of frost is mostly past. You want them to be in warmer soil, you want the roots to set up, and you're really just establishing these plants. Very easy to start. It's going to save you a lot of money. Asparagus, 1, rhubarb, 2, globe artichokes, we'll use the picture because I don't have them, 3. Great perennial plants to get into your garden and harvest year after year. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. Also check out my blog, therustedgardenblog.com, and check out the video description for more information on seed starting indoors. And please subscribe and follow me. I'll show you how to grow just about anything indoors, get them started, and I'll show you how to get them out into the garden and then take care of an entire video cut out. But I did want to say thanks so much for watching. Greatly appreciated, and I'll see you all next time.